What's up, everyone? Champ Bed's back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber at the UFC Apex. Super excited for this card, especially the main event. I love this main event. I love me some women's MMA, as you know. So, of course, I'm excited. It's a really good matchup between two super young, high ranked girls. So, I'm in. So, let's get into it. But first, as always, let's go over what happened last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago, because it was a little bit ago when the last card was. Pretty all right, not the best. Ignore the road to UFC stuff. I mean, I bet it. You could have, if you're following my bet me tips, you would have got like the notification when I bet them. But in terms of the UFC, did pretty all right. But let's go through each one of them one by one. The main plays that I played were the ones I needed to hit, and they hit. So, and those were the first two fights. The first one was Tecia Torres to beat Luana Pinheiro. You might be like wondering, well, minus 270. Where'd you get minus 270? As you can see here, like I said, like Tecia Pennington to win round 2. Like, and I was usually I wouldn't play something like that and post it as like a tracking bet, but I was like, it's Tecia Pennington. I even for like fighters who don't normally finish, I wouldn't do this, but it's like Ticia's not gonna finish like no one early. So I was more willing to do that for that, but like I said, like there was literally a thing that said that, and it's like a little bit of a difference. But it's like even in rounds 2 and 3, I wouldn't be shocked if she maybe even does get a finish. But round 1, I was like, there's no way. There's not in Ticia's wheelhouse. And I mean, I showed. This fight didn't go as like dominantly as I expected. Like as you can see, I think I bet Tecia Torres spread. That didn't hit. It was pretty close, and you can make an argument Luana won, but I don't think so. It looked like she dropped Tecia at the end of round 1. I think it was like a head clash, but didn't even show a replay. It was ridiculous. I was very worried going into the decision because of that. But to me, it looked like a slip. Tecia definitely won round 1 if that was a slip. If it was a knockdown, Luana for sure won, but if it's a slip, Tecia clearly won that round. Round 2, I was like, oh my god, what the heck is happening, Tecia? Where's your volume? I picked you. I was super confident you because you have volume. What's going on? And she, for some reason, it was, I don't know, maybe it's because of age or something like that. Like she is regressing, maybe. I don't know. She didn't look like as the Tecia Torres that I know her. Tecia Pennington that I know her. So that was interesting. But in the third, able to pick it up again. She got taken down a bunch of times. I wasn't expecting her to get taken down as much. Maybe it's because I didn't really consider the judo as much. I thought she should be fine with the judo, like not necessarily get taken down over and over. So that was a sweat. But even with the judo, Luana wasn't doing any damage with the judo. The damage on the round was Tecia Pennington. So yeah, I think Tecia Pennington did win the fight rounds 1 and 3. And yeah, she won. I saw her post fight, saw her crying and stuff like that. She deserves the best. I hope she gets a high ranked opponent, like now it's do or die time now. Like she's been robbed so many times against Tabitha Ricci, against forgetting, like there's Mackenzie Dern. I mean, you could argue like she robbed Luana Pinheiro here and Carla Esparza, but I think she won both those, to be honest with you. But yeah, props to Pennington. That was one of the ones I really needed that night. Next fight I had a bet on Hyun Sung Park versus Carlos Hernandez. Had Park. He made it look pretty easy. I probably should have put a little more on him, but I'll live making a unit off him. It was made it look pretty easy. Got a quick and easy takedown, and made easy work of Carlos Hernandez on the feet, doing good, pressuring Carlos Hernandez. Hernandez wasn't really liking the pressure, and I mean, he just did his work. Shout out to Hyun Sung Park. Looked really good. The next fight I had a bet on, was Tainara Lisboa, Luana Santos. The rest of the bets I had on this card are just like a lot smaller in scale, and like it would have been nice to have one of them hit. And it's like I would have had a pretty nice night if they did, but alas, they didn't hit. But still profit. I'm not even that like anxious about it. Not anxious, but like anxy. Like, it's whatever. I'll take a win. Yeah, Lisboa looked awful. She genuinely looked awful. I was shocked to seeing what I saw, and it's like, damn, Luana Santos made it look easy. We props to Santos. takedown defense for Lisboa was just not there, non-existent, to be honest with you. And I thought she'd be able to like push maybe Luana up against the cage and be aware of the takedown, like the judo throws and stuff like that. But like, I mean, she's kind. It felt like she would throw like a teep or something and just like fall over. Like it's not a good look from Lisboa. I don't know. I not good. Time off probably didn't help. Yeah. I think the next fight on the card was, yeah, Juliana Rosa versus Mel Costa. I went with Juliana Rosa. I thought he would be live to get the win here. They wouldn't go crazy with the bet, but I was like, I would make some money if he wins inside the distance, and I'll make some money if he wins outright. Neither of those hit. It was an absolute war. Rosa was really putting it on Melky Costa, but man, Melky Costa impresses again. Being pressured a bunch, and he pretty much fought an all stand-up fight. I mean, I think in a way it scored a smart fight IQ wise, because like you know, Juliana Rosa is that's not someone you like to deal with on the ground. He's dangerous down there. I mean, Melky Costa was hitting him with a bunch of kicks and stuff like that. Hit him with a head kick flush, but Rosa able to take it, and which I didn't necessarily think would necessarily be the case as much, but like I didn't think that he'd be doing much head kicks to begin with, because he doesn't really do them that often anyways. But he did, and he landed a big one. But like besides that, like he didn't really hurt Rosa. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but like he didn't really like hurt Rosa that bad as he did in that. I think it was for the first round with that head kick. But I mean, Rosa, if he takes damage and just comes forward after he survives that damage, man, he's a monster. You can't get him out of there. He fought for my money. I can't be that mad at the dog shot. It is what it is. Shout out to Juliana Rosa. Then the next fight I had to bet on was Mateus Camilo versus Gabriel Green. Had it over 2.5. Is believing in Gabe Green's toughness, and I should have realized, oh man, Mateus Camilo, maybe I should have trusted his toughness. This was a very small bet. Yeah, I'm so happy with myself, because I was like going into this week, it's like, oh man, Mateus Camilo is just one of Dana White looking for a fight. They want him to get a win. Gabe Green coming down a weight class. I was thinking that, but then when I watched tape, I was like, this dude's nothing special. He's nothing special. I still ended up picking Camilo, but I was like not confident. But I had belief in like Gabe Green surviving the stuff that Camilo was throwing, because it's a lot of like one-shot shots instead of like combinations. Yeah, I mean, he did survive. Gabe Green didn't get subbed in that really deep triangle, but once Camilo had the triangle and Gabe Green got out of it, he was done. So I mean, impressive win by Gabe Green. I only lost to really good guys, so I mean, props to him. Good luck to him on lightweight. Like that, respect. And then the next fight I had to bet on was Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. I had fight starts round 4. It didn't even get there that close. I didn't have much on it. Yeah, I mean, what's there to say? Like, Michael Morales absolutely ran through Burns. Burns had some like nice shots. It's like, oh man, if that landed, whoo. Anyone would get maybe hurt from that, but they didn't really land. I think the physicality was just too much of a difference. And yeah, so that was my night betting wise. But in terms of picks, share screen. You can see I went like 7 of 11, which is okay. It's not the end of the world, not the best. Talked about those ones. Denise Gomes beats Elise Reed. I thought like Reed might be like a little tough, and like it'll be like, how do you say it? Like Gomes, like, oh, is it like doing something similar to the Karolina Kovacevic fight? That didn't happen. She knocked her the hell out. Oh my goodness, that was nasty. I mean, it was pretty nasty work from the matchmakers to even make this fight to begin with. But yeah, props to Gomes. Talked about this one. Yeah, they're Deval to beat Connor Matthews. Look great, honestly. Good submission early. Doesn't necessarily say much because it's Connor Matthews. I thought Connor Matthews might be like able to be tough enough to last longer in this one, but the submission was there. I think I even talked about the submission being live in this one for Delval, but it was not something I was willing to play. I was like, I thought Connor Matthews had a shot. He didn't really have a shot, but that was why I was like, I didn't want to even touch the line. Jared Gordon beats Thiago Moises. This is another example of when I was talking about like Camilo is like, oh, pre-fight, pre-tape. I was like, oh yeah, this feels pretty obvious to me. I felt the same way about Thiago Moises. I still ended up going with him, and that was definitely wrong. But when I went over the tape, I was like, oh shoot, Yeah, like, the truth is, Jared Gordon has been doing really, really, really good. He like arguably beat Nasrat. Actually, arguably, he probably really should have. I was on Nasrat that fight against Jared Gordon. It was the biggest sweat of my life. Like he probably shouldn't have won that. But yeah, Jared Gordon puts him out. I was very surprised to see him put him out. Moises couldn't get started much at all. Got put out. Is what it is. Talked about that one. Ruziboyev, Stoltzfus. I want Ruziboyev to finish Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus, props to him. He does have a chin, but I mean, man, the decision making from like some of the when I was watching this fight, I was like, I feel right for thinking both these guys are not that good because they aren't. Ruziboyev is absolutely a fraud. Stoltzfus, I mean, he made some of the dumbest decisions. He had top position. I think it was like round 2, and he just goes for a submit and just completely loses it. Why? Why did you do that? You could have won the round by staying on top, landing some nice shots from up top and keeping position. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, both these guys aren't good. But good win from Ruziboyev. Myron Santos, Sodiq Yusuff. I went with Santos. I was like not liking the stuff I was hearing from Sodiq at all this week. It's like, it hurts my soul. I think this Myron Santos guy is not good, and I still feel the same way. Even after this fight. I mean, to me, Sodiq doesn't look the same guy as he was. Maybe it's because of the back. He still needs back surgery, whatever. I don't know. The commentary loves Myron Santos for some reason. Anderson Silva-esque. I do not see it. I just do not see it. I'm sorry. I don't. This guy's not that. I see more Anderson Silva in something like Carlos Prates than Myron Santos. It's not the same. Sorry, I don't see it. But yeah, good win for Myron Santos, coming off what should have been a loss against Francis Marshall. Never forget. Michael Morales beats Gilbert Burns. Already talked about it. Good win for Michael Morales. So yeah, that is that. Now let's go on to make picks for Blanchfield versus Barber. Rayan Dos Santos versus Alice Ardaline. Now, if you know me, you know my opinions on one of these ladies. That's Alice Ardaline. I think Alice Ardaline is terrible. She's terrible. I'm not picking her to beat almost anyone. I'll go Rayan Dos Santos by decision. I get it. The line's pretty nasty. Probably like it probably is off, to be honest. Like maybe Alice can bully Dos Santos around because she is bigger, I guess. But man, she's just so hittable. She's so hittable. Like I don't even think I need to worry too much. I hope this line keeps coming down, and if it does, I'm going to probably consider some sort of Rayan Dos Santos, maybe like in a parlay or something. It wouldn't be much. I would not be interested in putting too much. I already made my money fading Alice Ardaline. I made money fading her with Shauna Bannon, which is unbelievable, seeing how bad Bannon looked there, and Melissa Martinez, who I thought made it look easy. That felt good. The Melissa Martinez one felt great. Alice Ardaline is terrible. I can't back her to win against almost anyone. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into this one too much. I'm not gonna lie, but Alice Ardaline, if I look on her Instagram, I don't want to look at. I'm hoping that it has her training, because I think I remember she went to like Charles Johnson's gym or something like that. I don't know if she's still there. Maybe she is working on my striking flow with Jay Will. Fusion XL Performance. I think that's in. Yeah, okay. So I think that's the exact camp that Charles Johnson's from, and I like that. That might be like maybe she makes improvements after making that move there. So I think that's like an argument why maybe Alice is like all of a sudden gets better or something like that. But I just can't back her. I know Dos Santos trains with Kevin Holland, like those people over there. I think it was a Travis Luter or something like that. Maybe I'm just completely like messing up names, but I just think Dos Santos' volume is going to be enough to outwork Alice, to be honest, and she wins. Markel Medeiros versus Balaji Oki. This is actually off. I read this is what you can call it. What's his name? Oki versus it's Aswell. It's Aswell. Yeah, what's his name? I keep forgetting. Michael Aswell. So pretend that's Michael Aswell on the screen. I'm gonna go Oki. I think he's gonna win a decision. I think Aswell's pretty alright. He looked pretty good against Bogdan not Guskov. Oh my god. Bogdan Grad. This is the same first name. And they both belonged. Bogdangrad. He looked pretty good there, even though he lost. I didn't think there was an argument for Grad there, to be honest, but I thought it was like close and like understandable why people say it was like a robbery, but it was close. I just think Oki full camp, short notice as well. It was pretty good. I think he'd probably be fine even with short notice. But I just think like the speed difference. I think I'd lean Oki. I didn't tape as well. Like I saw the fight get made today. I was like, oh shoot. Well, I'm not ready to talk about this one. I lean Oki. Maybe he has takedown success, even though I'm assuming not here as much. I'm gonna go with the guy on full camp. Maybe I like decision. Like maybe the fight goes. Like I don't know what the line would be for that. That might be interesting. Although I know Oki does crack, so that's possible. But I think Aswell is probably a pretty tough guy. So yeah, I guess I'll go Oki to win that fight against Aswell. Next fight, Andreas Gustafsson versus Trevin Giles. I'm going to go Giles, if I'm being honest. I don't think this Gustafsson guy is good, to be honest with you. I don't think he's that good. I mean, I get it. I get why people backing Gustafsson, because his style of fighting, I mean, he said in his Instagram, I think, full read, like my fight plan, my game plan was fight retarded, which is funny as hell. He's just going to come at you, probably get hit a bunch, clinch, land big shots of his own. Like that's Gustafsson. I don't think that's gonna work too well at the UFC level. And I think even Trevin Giles does a pretty good job at defending clinch work, to be honest, which is kind of why I'm leaning towards Officer Giles. I think the jab is gonna be working. It's the worrisome part about Giles. Volume. He has so little volume. You want him to do much more, and he doesn't. So that's a worry. But I think he's still better than Gustafsson. I mean, he hurt Michael Morales. Can you believe that? Trevin Giles? That happened. He was beating Dricus du Plessis. That happened. He was doing pretty already against Mike Malott. That happened. I'm forgetting. But he was winning against Carlos Pratas. That happened. I mean, obviously those are losses still, but this is a big step down in competition compared to, like, in my opinion, all of these guys. Even Bonfim. I mean, Bonfim I'm not super duper high on. He's the better Bonfim brother. I will still stand on that. But still, I think Trevin Giles is just better than this guy. And I'm going to pick him. He's still young. I don't think this is a bad short notice fight for him to take. So yeah, I'll take Trevin Giles. Jordan Levitt versus Kurt Hollabaugh. Give me Jordan Levitt. I think Kurt Hollabaugh has terrible takedown defense. I think he has terrible get-ups. And I think just Jordan Levitt's going to be able to have good enough ability to get takedowns, even though his takedown ability isn't that great, and take down the Hollabaugh and win like that. Just stay on top and win. Got to be careful of Hollabaugh bottom. He does have good jiu-jitsu, but I think Levitt can do it. But I do think that's kind of a worry. And honestly, not a bad look on the fight. I'm not sure. I don't think I have odds for that at the moment. But, like, I will say, what's his name? Kurt Hollabaugh finish only. It's probably not a bad idea. I don't really see Jordan Levitt getting a finish here because Kurt Hollabaugh's a really tough guy. Really tough guy, to be honest. So, yeah, I'll say that. But I think Levitt's probably going to get takedowns and win like that. On the feet, I mean, Trey Ogden. He outstruck Trey Ogden on the feet, believe it or not. Don't never forget. It's just crazy to say. Kurt Hollabaugh's advantage on the feet, but like Jordan Levitt's style on the feet is just so awkward. That just gives anyone problems. It's just so weird. Like the only way he's been losing is not even been on the feet. It's been on the ground. Like he lost to Paddy Pimblett, not a bad loss. Chase Huber, not a bad loss. I mean, these are, and some of those wins are not so bad, not necessarily great. Trey Ogden's probably the best one. Victor Martinez, okay, I'll take that back. Nothing crazy, but he's done good work in the UFC. I feel like Jordan Levitt, and I think he's all right. So yeah, give me the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt. Alan Nascimento versus Javel Filo. Super excited for this fight. This is a banger. Give me Nascimento. I think he's gonna win a decision. Although low key, I kind of want to decision. I mean, it's tough because of the layoff with Nascimento, and both these guys are pretty similar. But I think the size advantage of Nascimento is going to be playing a factor here. I like the shoot the box guys. I don't think Fiho is not. I've never been super high on Fiho. I know he got that good knee bar on Muhammad Mokaev, and he didn't tap Mokaev, but I mean, okay. These other wins though, it's just like Bades, who he was losing to, and Odie Osborne. I mean, he got Odie on the ground. Yeah, fair play. I just think Nascimento's fought the better guys. I think he arguably beat Tiger Ulanbekov. Holly and Paiva going to war with him. Impressive to me. Jake Hadley, I think, is pretty all right. Carlos Hernandez is okay. Nothing crazy. I just like Alan Nascimento a lot more as like a prospect in general. I think he could actually like do things in this division and go kind of far. I don't feel the same way. But yeah, I do worry about the layoff. I'm not sure if I'm really looking to bet this fight, to be honest. I will say something like did like seem interesting to me. I don't have odds for this, but I feel like the odds are going to be interesting for this. Not Nascimento, but like fight ends by KO or maybe Nascimento KO. I think those are maybe live. Vilo has been hurt before. It's not like he's unhurtable on the feet. I think Nascimento's better on the feet. I'd lean for him to be better, and I think maybe he can land more damage on the ground. I mean, if you're going for like stuff like knee bars and stuff like that, you're doing super high risk moves. You're able to get landed on big from top position possibly, or even like bottom, because you're gonna give up position from top to go to bottom. I think that's live, so I will say that, but it's not something I'm super duper passionate about. It's just my thoughts on the fight. Yeah, give me an Alan Nascimento to win the decision. Zach Reese versus Dusko Todorovic. Call me crazy. Dusko Todorovic round 1 KO. Call me crazy. I think Dusko's live to win this fight. I have a bet on him. I do think Dusko wins this fight. There's a legitimate case where this would be Zach Reese's like literally his best win if he beats Dusko Todorovic. There's a legit case. It's him or probably Julian Marquez. And even then, Marquez not necessarily anything special. I mean, this is a pretty quick turnaround after Azamat KO'd him. Reese, that's scary. I know like you kind of can't trust Dusko's chin and stuff like that, but I think the odds are off here. I think Dusko is very, very live to win. Even like just randomly catching Reese, I think it's very, very possible. And he's still like Dusko is still like not old or anything like that. I just think these odds are pretty wild. And I don't think he's utter like trash. I mean, look at the guys he's losing to. Cheaty, okay, not bad. You can't don't mind losing the Cheaty. CLD, not bad. Mansour Abdul Malik, he was surviving. I will say, nah. I mean, I don't think Mansour's anything special, but that dude's like a physical specimen. I guess Zach Reese sort of is too. But I will say, if this fight gets out of round 1, I don't trust Zach Reese. Like I just don't trust this guy. The Jose Medina fight didn't give me any answers to that. Maybe not answers, but like it made me have more questions because it's like Jose Medina is a punchy bat. He's getting hit by everything. He's not throwing much back at all. And Zach Reese is still gassing. Like, what if there's any sort of resistance? Dusko could be that guy. Yeah, give me Dusko to Todorovic. This fight probably ends early. Under 1.5 is probably safe. Probably a disgusting number though, so probably not even worth betting. But it's just my thoughts. Yeah. Give me Dusko. Ketlin Vieira versus Maycee Chasson. I'm excited for this fight. This is my biggest bet of the card. Believe it or not. I mean, you know me. Women's MMA. It's in my blood. Maycee Chasson's going to win this fight. I like Maycee Chasson a lot here. I like her a lot here. I think she's going to absolutely work Ketlin Vieira. And I was really surprised to see the odds like this. I was expecting Chasson to be a bigger dog. And it's because every time they've been booked, this fight's been booked a few times. Chasson the first time, like I think it was a year ago, about pretty big underdog on Chasson. Then rebooked again for the Seattle card this year. Not as big of an underdog, but still an underdog. Chasson. Now she's like a favorite in the close to pick'em fight. Interesting. Yeah, I see. I've been on Chasson this whole time, like that whole process. I think Ketlin is just the most frustrating fighter to watch because she 100% could be the champion right now. She 100% could be the champion right now if she knew how big she was. She played to her strengths, and she had fight IQ. 100% could do it. She has all the skill in the world. Doesn't use it ever. And it's the most frustrating thing ever. I'm not sure if any fighter makes me more mad to watch than Ketlen Vieira. I don't think things change. I don't think her losing to Kayla in a somewhat competitive fight changes anything. Like, I mean, she looked all right on the feet against Kayla, but honestly, I don't think Kayla on the feet's anything special, to be honest with you. I think Chason's better on the feet than Kayla Harrison is. I think Maycee Chason, I like what I heard from interviews from her, Chason, talking about this fight. The jab is the key to this fight. Jab up Ketlen Vieira. She's going to be there for you to get hit. Bam, bam, bam. And work off the jab. What can you do with the jab? You can take her down off the jab. You can land up combinations of the jab. You can cage wrestle off the jab. Make her think about everything. I am a little worried if it goes to the ground and like maybe Ketlen can have like a submission threat, even though she not necessarily been a threat for finishing in fights. Makes Chason more so. And I like the pace of Maycee Chason. Fight IQ, like I mentioned with Ketlen Vieira, has cost her a bunch of times, to be honest with you. A bunch of times. She's not someone you want to trust. I feel like. I feel like with Chason, I've been liking their win streak. Even against Aldana, she was winning that fight, and she got caught by something we've not seen since. I've not seen someone do an up kick, liver shot KO since Aldana did it. I think it's kind of a fluke, to be honest with you. But like, beat Norma Dumont, that's a pretty good win. Don't forget that a while ago. Irene Aldana was doing pretty good there. Pani Kianzad, I mean, not the best, don't get me wrong, but made easy work of her, rightfully so. And Mayra Bueno Silva, and I see people mentioning that fight. Oh, but Mayra Bueno Silva was winning that fight. Sure, she won round one, but what happened at the end of round one? Momentum shift. Maycee Chason changed momentum, landing big shots to end the round. And then what did you do in round two to start? Takedown against Mayra Bueno Silva. And then big elbow. First elbow, I think, even. Or second elbow, something like that. Big cut on Mayra Bueno Silva. The fight gets stopped because it's a really bad cut. Fair play. Maycee Chason's really good. She's really big for this division. So I'm not worried about that aspect with Ketlen Vieira. I don't believe Ketlen Vieira will be able to bully her around. And I think if she not able to bully Maycee Chason around, I feel pretty good about Maycee Chason, like very, very good. And that's what I believe going into this fight. What else? In the clinch, I think Maycee Chason's clinch work is a lot better. She's a lot more busier in the clinch. So I have a lot more trust in Chason to do what she needs to do to win. And I think trajectory rise, Chason, I mean, Ketlen Vieira just fought for a fight that winner of the fight gets a title shot. She just lost that fight. That's tough. I mean, she's still young. It's not like she's totally out of the title picture at all. She needs a win here. But I think Maycee absolutely on the train up, the going up. And I think that trajectory keeps happening. I honestly would not be shocked if Maycee Chason becomes a champion in this division. That seems crazy to say. I think Maycee Chason's that good. Like at this point, I like what I'm seeing from her. I think she's going to continue showing it. So yeah, give me Maycee Chason to win this fight. Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopez. Jacoby. I'm going to go decision. I think maybe Bruno Lopez can be tough in there, but I wouldn't be shocked if Jacoby finishes him. Jacoby is going to volume in all day. He's got the speed advantage, which if Jacoby doesn't have the speed advantage, he can lose fights and stuff like that. But I just don't think this Bruno Lopez guy is good at all. Being honest with you, I was willing to even bet like Gadzhi Sulov, who I think is a complete fraud. And he looked like a complete fraud against Bruno Lopez. I was willing to bet him there against Bruno Lopez because I thought so little of Bruno Lopez, and that now my opinion didn't really change. My just opinion of Gadzhi Sulov went even lower than it did. I think Jacoby's gonna absolutely light him up on the feet. He's gonna outstrike him all day, volume all day. He's got all the decision equity in the world, in my opinion. Like the only way I see Bruno Lopez maybe winning this fight, randomly catching Jacoby, putting him out, or just holding Jacoby with like wrestling and stuff like that against the cage. But I don't even think that's going to be the case. Jacoby's very underrated. I like him. I think he's going to win this fight. Yeah, give me Jacoby. I think the minus 3.5 spread on Jacoby is probably a really good look because I just don't see him losing rounds. He has to get dropped, and if he gets dropped, you're going to be scared for your life and be happy you didn't pay the money line price on Jacoby anymore. So that's what I think. Ramiz Brahimaj versus Billy Ray Goff. I want to go Billy Ray Goff. I think he gets a later finish. I'll go round 2. I just think the pace Billy Goff's going to put on Brahimaj is going to be just too much for Brahimaj to handle. Yeah, that's what I think. I don't think this fight is probably going to go long. I think probably fight and like Billy Ray Goff round 2-3 KO. I'm going to go sub. I think Brahimaj is well versed enough in the grappling that I could sub, but 2-3 KO I think is super light for Billy Ray Goff. He's going to be all pace and action. That's just how Billy Goff fights. I love me some Billy Goff. Very fun. I was on Trey Waters last time around, and that was scary, but I did think Trey Waters won that fight. But nonetheless, still not a bad showing from Billy Ray Goff. He just shows this dude is as durable as it comes, and he's gonna come forward. I think the odds, like money line wise, is pretty kind of crazy to be honest, because like low key wouldn't be shocked if Brian Mudge does find like a sub, but I just think this is gonna go Billy Ray Goff's way. And I think the pace is going to be just too much. Yeah. Mateus Gamrot versus Ludovic Klein. This is a great fight. I'm going to go Gamrot to win a decision, but I'm going to say I'm scared. I'm scared to bet like a side on here. I love that Gamrot has been at ATT for like a while and he's been waiting for like a fight for so long. That tells me he's like super dedicated to this game. He's all in still, and yeah, he's all in. I trust that with Gamrot. Klein's very scary because I do think he has good takedown defense. I know it's against guys who are not in the same level Gamrot, and that's exactly why I'm still going with Gamrot. But like, he does have competent takedown defense. He absolutely does. On the feet, he's pretty nasty. Scares me with Gamrot's chin, who can just get cracked at any time. But I just think he's going to be a gritty veteran performance with Gamrot. He's going to find a way to win, and I think he's going to find a way to win with the wrestling. I think he's going to put on that pace that he always does. I wish it was a fine rounder for Gamrot's sake, but Gamrot's just good, man. This dude's one of the best in the division for a reason. And I think that's going to stay the case this weekend. I think he's going to get the wrestling going. And I think once he gets a few takedowns, they're going to come easier and easier and easier each one. So I'll lean Gamrot, but I am scared to bet him. I will say that. I will say I'm very, very scared to bet Gamrot there. Next fight up the card, the main event: Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. Call me crazy. Actually, I really don't think it's that crazy. Give me Maycee Barber. I think she'll win a decision. I don't think KO is that crazy either, to be honest with you, and I'll explain why. I see a lot of people on Erin Blanchfield this week, and I was pretty surprised to see that. I thought there'd be a lot more love for Maycee. I mean, maybe it's because I'm on Maycee. Like that's why I'm thinking that. But nonetheless, like Maycee Barber is pretty good herself. There's worries about the layoff and like the health scare she had after the Seminara fight with Caitlyn. That's like a big worry. I will say that. But I trust she's okay now. I don't think she'd be back if she wasn't okay. But like I will say, tread lightly with that knowledge. Like that happened. Like that she had a very, very, very bad health scare that time. But it's been like a good amount of time since that's happened. But why do I like Barber in this matchup? Physicality. Physicality is the answer. I will say this: I don't really want to see Barber fighting at too much at range. Is she the better striker at range? Yes, she absolutely is. But at the same time, I don't want you to be playing that game against Blanchfield because she's going to keep coming forward. Keep coming forward, no problem, and just take everything you give her. What I do want Maycee Barber to do, get in that clinch, push Erin Blanchfield against the cage. Don't let her come to you. Push her against that cage. Be the bully. Elbow in the clinch. That's what Maycee Barber does best. That's what has gotten Maycee Barber this far in this division. Her clinch game against the fence is some of the best I've seen in the UFC. She is so physical. She does such big damage in those situations. I want to see her do that. Obviously, she has to worry about the body lock takedown. Erin Blanchfield's wrestling, not good. But the only sort of wrestling she sort of has, the body locks. The body locks are where her. That's where she's been able to get takedowns. Barber has to be aware of that, and when she's in that clinch, has to be aware of that at all times because, yeah, you don't want to be on the ground with Blanchfield. Blanchfield's super good there. Like she's top notch down there. It does worry me if that happens, but I think you have to do this. You have to do this to beat Blanchfield because I think you're gonna inflict so much more damage this way. You're gonna look better to the judges this way, and you're gonna inflict more damage this way. And Barber's talking about so much about wanting to get a finish. I think she can get it, maybe possibly get a finish by just landing such big damage there. Cut Erin Blanchfield open in that clinch. Barber's been in this game for longer, I feel like in the UFC, I should say. I will say the judges love Maycee Barber. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Miranda Maverick wants her fight back. I'll say that. But yeah, like I always say this, like Erin Blanchfield struggles against girls more physical than her. She does. Against Manon Fiorot, had nothing. She had pretty much nothing for Manon in that fight. Like, because the physicality was just too much. Too much. You can't get her down. You can't it's like, oh, she didn't go for that many takedowns. She couldn't get to Manon Fiorot to begin with. Because again, her wrestling's not that good. She relies on body locks, and that's like the only thing she can really, really hit. Barber is another physical girl in this division. As physical as Manon Fiorot? I do not think so. I will say that. But at the same time, she is still pretty physical. She could be a 135 for one day. She has the ability, the capacity to build into a body like that. Blanchfield's not necessarily the most physical girl. She is more physical than a good amount of girls, but not the most physical, because I think girls like Barber, Fiorot, I think even Shevchenko would be maybe a little too physical for her. What I want to say, I mean, physicality I think is a big factor. I will say at range, yes, Barber will be the better one. She will be the better one. I trust Barber's cardio too. I've seen a lot of merit. It's like, oh man, and Blanchfield's been here, done that with 5 rounds, and I agree. Yeah, I'm not worried about her 5-round cardio, but it's like I'm not worried about Barber's 5-round cardio either. I mean, maybe I'll be worried if she gets taken down like in the first 3 rounds, like that'd be bad. And she plays off bottom the whole time, but I will say this: a lot of people brought up the Andrea Lee fight for Barber, like, oh, the takedown defense, terrible look, and I get it. Andrea Lee not been looking so hot, but to be fair, was she expecting takedowns so much in that fight? No, I don't really think so. So I'll say that, and she got up a bunch of times there. Here, she knows what Erin Blanchfield is going to do. It's pretty obvious. Game plan Erin Blanchfield has in fights. It's out there. Everyone knows what she's going to do. So I think Barber's going to come in, fight how she needs to fight. That floor is lava. Do not, if you're on the ground there, be super careful. Find a way back up. I know she gives up her back a little too much, which I'm not crazy about, but she's a big underdog, and I think like I'm taking the shot on Maycee Barber. I think she's super live to win this fight, and I think she even is live to get like a finish late. Like I think it's very possible with like the elbows. I think a doctor stoppage is very, very possible. Her head kick is pretty nice. I think she can absolutely get it done by TKO like later in the fight. So yeah, is that everything I wanted to say? Blanchfield striking. She'll come forward. She'll get hit. She's very hittable. I don't think it's that great. And honestly, if you look back at Blanchfield's performances, is it really that impressive? Rose Namajunas, she lost those first 2 rounds pretty convincingly, in my opinion. Is able to bounce back. I thought she won a very close 3rd round, and then won rounds 4 and 5. I might be mixing up rounds 3 and 4. Like those might be interchanged, like one of the close rounds. But besides the point, it's an okay win. It's a good win. Don't get me wrong. Manon Fiorot, no shame in losing the Manon. I'll say that. Talia Santos, not been looking good. That was a super close fight in my opinion. I think you can arguably give it to Talia Santos, to be honest with you. I thought it was pretty arguable. Blanchfield getting hit big shots there. Jessica Andrade, she had trouble taking her down in round 1, and you've been seeing Andrade just get absolutely mauled by other girls. Jasmine made it look so easy in comparison. Like this, I mean, you would say like maybe she's in the cash grab mode, but she was at that time too. That she took that fight on short notice against Blanchfield, and that was. I don't think it's super crazy to be looking at that fight now and be like, nothing crazy. And even the takedown when it happened was because of a wardrobe malfunction. Like Andrade's clothes are starting to come off. Like that's sort of why that happened. So interesting. That's something to mention. And Molly McCann, is that really that impressive? No, it really isn't. So I don't think. I mean, I will say Marina Maverick, a very impressive win, but I think Marina's improved a lot since then. But that's an impressive win. That's like not on here. JJ Aldrich, it's an all right win. But I just think Maycee Barber is just. I think she's gonna be able to put it on her. I think the physicality key, the key word in this breakdown, physicality. I think it gets done for Maycee Barber. I like Maycee Barber to win. I do think she wins by decision, but I will say I do think late KO is live. So yeah, those are my picks. Let's go over more takedowns, more significant strikes for each of the fights. Rayon Dos Santos, Alex Artelin. More 6 strikes, Dos Santos, I'd lean. More takedowns. I don't want nothing to do with that. I probably Alice is going to be maybe going for takedowns, but even then, no. I don't want any part of that. Dos Santos more 6 strikes, I would lean. Aswell versus Oki. I really don't know if I'm being honest. Like I have to watch Michael Aswell again to remind me. I feel like Aswell's a pretty high volume guy. I know Oki has speed. I don't know. I really don't know if I'm being honest with you. So I'm not going to give anything out for that. Gustafsson, Giles. Oh, this is so tough. Probably Gustafsson more 6 strikes because Giles is so. How do you say this? Like low volume. Low volume is the key word. But even then, I wouldn't even be surprised if Gustafsson like puts Giles against the cage but doesn't land anything significant. And Giles is like low volume. He is a significant strikes that actually does get landed. So keep that in mind. I think more takedowns. It could go either way. It could go either way. Like I don't think Gustafsson really goes for that many. Like I'm trying to remember off his Contender Series fight if he necessarily got, because I remember that fight was mostly held in the clinch. Let me actually look at this. Andreas Gustafsson UFC stats. Yeah, he got a few, so maybe. But again, like I said, could go either way. I think so. Whoever the underdog is, it's not a bad look. Jordan Levitt, more takedowns, easy. More 6 strikes. I think I'd lead Levitt to be landing more 6 strikes on top even, but I'm not crazy about 6 strikes. More takedowns. Don't be worried. You'll be probably fine. Nascimento, Filho. Nascimento, more significant strikes. Takedowns. Oh, I don't know. I maybe go Nascimento because I think he can defend the takedowns, but I don't even know. Like whoever's not doing well in the striking, maybe has the chance to do it. So maybe it's Filho. I don't know about the takedowns, but 6 strikes, I do think Nascimento's going to be the better one on the feet. Zachary Dusko Dotorovic. I think Dusko round 1, so I guess round 1. I guess Dusko 6 strikes and definitely Dusko takedowns. Dusko takedowns I think is pretty good, and I think that's actually probably a really good play. Kellen Vieira meets Chasson. Chasson more 6 strikes. I like that a lot. More takedowns. I lean Chasson, but maybe it's Ketlin, but not ultra confident takedowns. But I think Chasson more 6 strikes. Very good look. Jacoby Lopez, all reliable. Dustin Jacoby more significant strikes. That's good. Bruno Lopez more takedowns. He's probably the only guy who's going to be going for any takedowns this fight. So probably that. Billy Ray Goff from East Body Mudge. More 6 strikes. Billy Ray Goff has insane volume. More takedowns. I mean, I don't know if Billy Ray Goff is really going to be interested in going for takedowns in this fight. So I guess I'd lean Body Mudge, but I don't know. I'm not super confident in that. Gamrot Klein. Gamrot, more takedowns for sure. Klein, Gamrot. I mean, more 6 strikes is interesting. I think you can probably make a good argument that Klein is going to have more 6 strikes, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty close. So, and Gamrot's pretty nice on the feet too. He has nice boxing. People refuse to acknowledge it. He was out boxing Dan Hooker, and I stand on that. He should have won that fight. Besides the point, Erin Blanchfield, Maycee Barber, more significant strikes. I like that, and more takedowns. I mean, probably Blanchfield, but I don't really know if Barber's going to be really going for any. But maybe she does, and like because she'd rather be on top. But I don't even know if she will. I don't know about the more takedowns one, to be honest. But more 6 strikes, Maycee Barber, give it to me. Thank you so much for watching. You can check me out at betmma.tips, champ bets, and yeah. Check me out next week. We'll be talking about I believe the pay-per-view card, Sean O'Malley versus Rob Dvalishvili 2, as well as Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena. Very excited for the card. Not necessarily the main event, co-main event. I don't think those fights are not necessarily the most interesting for me, but a lot of the undercard fights I think are super hype. I'm very, very excited for Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix. My most hype fight for the card, and that's what I'm excited for. A lot of good prelim fights in that card, and that's what we will be there for. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and have a great one. See ya. Peace.